Well, hello everybody. Welcome. I'm glad you're here watching this. I am. I want to talk with you about the environmental court and how important this is for you in owning your authority, uh, getting things to be set straight. And so, the People's Bureau of Investigation has the documents available. Link is in the description to the People's Bureau of Investigation website. And what I have here in front of me is this is the it's International Environmental District Court for the Environmental District of the Universe. International Environmental Court Decree, ENC hyphen 201215, amended Uniform Universal Citizens Arrest Authorities by full faith and credit globally. Um, I'm gonna read through this document. It might end up taking me 2 videos to do it because there's a fair amount to read here. And but before I get into this, I want to read for you the part where I want to try and get to. Um, goodness. All right, here we go. This is on page 3. So this is the part I want to get to, but I'm going to skip forward here just to read this part in advance. The Environmental Court was established by an act of Congress on October 18th, 1972. I'm going to repeat that. The Environmental Court was established by an act of Congress on October 18th, 1972. It was established to be a separate court and a separate court system from the courts of the United States. It is a Supreme Court of the people, for the people, and by the people. This is a high court enacted by Congress, and it's dealing with many things, many situations, and all responsible corporate officers. That means pretty much anyone in public service is guilty of felonies. And we haven't had an enforcement means because the bar has usurped our courts. However, with the raid that took place on the Treasury and the audit, the IRS and the Treasury are now in the hands of the white hats, as we understand it, no longer in control of the deep state. And this is where the money comes from for the awards and bounties. So anybody can file the writ. Any man or woman can file the writ, not file, serve. Any man or woman can serve the writ on a responsible corporate officer, whether that be a sheriff, a county clerk, the guy running your sewer, congressman, your senator, doesn't matter. They are all convicted. And we have now a means of enforcement. through the environmental court. And enforcement means, in this instance, money. Money for those who serve the writ, and money for those who uh, perform the arrest. Now, the writ, there's a process for this, and there's more than just the writ that you have to send out. And so all this is discussed in detail on voice chats at the People's Bureau of Investigation Telegram channel. And again, that link is in the description of this video. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern p.m. Come and join the voice chat and bring your questions. Do your study first. Read the welcome message on the Telegram page. It gets reposted quite regularly. You won't have to scroll up far to find it if it's not right there at the bottom. And review the documents on the PBI website, educate yourself, and bring your questions and join the conversation. Now, I can explain a few things. The writ is to be done in 3 parts. You create your original, and then you make 2 copies. Now, the original is going to go to the award center or the court. 1 copy will get sent to the responsible corporate officer through registered mail. And you retain 1 copy for your records. Now, the copy that goes to your responsible corporate officer, there's a place there for a signature or an autograph. However, you are not compelled to put your name there, and it's advised that you don't, for staying anonymous, so you don't have to be concerned about retribution by these tyrants as signaling you out as the one who served them. So just for doing this process, there's a $2,000 award. And the cost for you to do this should probably be under $50 for everything: your printing, your registered mail, even your gasoline to travel back and forth to do what you got to do. And you should receive the money somewhere within 45 days of the court receiving the copy of the original writ that you served on the responsible corporate officer. I'm struggling a little bit to make sure that I'm using the correct words and in the right way, so that everything makes sense. All right, so the original that you would send to the court has a line on there for has a place there for your signature, and you're going to need to identify how to be contacted by the court in order to get your payment. So you would put your address on there after you make your copies, right? Because the original is going to the back to the court, to the award center, and you're going to make 2 copies of that original. So you can just simply on the copies, you can put one of the people, or you can put anything there that you want for your mark. You can put an X. It doesn't matter. So you remain anonymous to the person that you're serving. Possibly, if you're in a small community, you might even want to consider using a postal service in another community, especially if you're sending service to those in your community. But regardless, they are served the minute you have receipt in your hand from the United States Postal Service. That's right. They can deny service. It doesn't matter. They're served the minute that you get that receipt in your hand. And you're not responsible for doing any arrest. That's up to those that are inclined that way. And there's plenty that are ready, chomping at the bit to give us justice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start reading this. I'll try and do it like this where I'm at least got my face towards the camera. It is ordered by the court as a direct result of an environmental emergency and constitutional crisis. This court orders the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 under the Declaration of Independence hereby enacted in its entirety. Now is the time for a few good men and women to come to the aid of their country, the United States of America. One nation under Almighty God. As provided for under the Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 4.1, and pursuant to the authority of the Posse Comitatus Act, authorize Department Police officers to be deputized environmental marshal deputies for enforcement of federal law. Deputy declares enforcement of federal law is the first and foremost duty of any department police officer under Title 38 of the United States Code, Section 902A, 1A, to wit. Title 38, Veterans Benefits. Part 1, General Provisions. Chapter 9, Security and Law Enforcement on Property under the Jurisdiction of the Department. Section 902, Enforcement and Arrest Authority of Department Police Officers. A. 1. Employees of the Department who are Department Police Officers shall A. Enforce federal laws. All right, on to page 2 here. Uniform Universal Citizens Arrest Authority. Common Law, -1, Peter 2:13-15. 13. Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to the emperor as the supreme authority, 14, or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and commend those who do right. 15. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people. Declaration of Independence, reinterpreted for now to wit. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same objective evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to deputize environmental marshals for their future security and enforcement of federal law. Such has been the patient sufferance of the people, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter municipal, military, corporate systems of government. The history of the present foreign alien enemy, i.e., International Bar Association, ETAL. The Crown Temple is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having a direct object, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. The people united for America, to act is our duty. Federal Law, United States Code, Title 33, 1365, Citizen Suits. Most states have codified the common law rule that a warrantless arrest may be made by private person for a felony, misdemeanor, or breach of peace. A breach of peace covers a multitude of violations in which the Supreme Court has even included a misdemeanor seatbelt violation punishable only by a fine. The unlawful discharge of pollutants, hazardous substances, is a crime of violence, an unlawful act, and a gross breach of the peace, as any violation of clean water and environmental standards and effluent limitations is a breach of peace causing harm, absolutely. Court-ordered peaceful transition of power. Notice of les pendants to all qualified defenders of the Constitution. If you are a qualified defender of the organic Constitution and are reading this order, there's a lawsuit pending that may award judgment within your sphere of oath. Take advance notice of possible assistance being needed by the International Environmental Marshal Service for the execution of writs of the International Environmental Court. The court, by special appointment, has provided for, under the Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 4.1, and as further authorized under Pace Comitatus Act of 1878, deputize qualified defenders of the Constitution, environmental marshal deputies for the enforcement of federal law. Here we go to page 3. Take due notice. Environment of federal law is the first and foremost, take due notice. Enforcement of federal law is the first and foremost duty of any qualified defender of the Constitution. See Title 38 of the United States Code, Section 902A, 1A. If enforcement becomes necessary, the $1,000 enforcement award upon authentication by the clerk of the court is payable by the Secretary of the United States Treasury. See Articles of Confederation, Article 8. The court has decreed an enforcement award of $10,000 bonus award to each man, woman who participates in the assistance team in the execution of writs of the court, and 2, balance to the team controlled fund to be used as team members choose. NSEA, International Environmental Marshal Service, courtesy notice to all persons as required by 18 U.S.C. 2382, misprision of treason. Greetings. Treason is the crime of attacking a state authority to which one owes allegiance. This typically includes acts such as participating in war against one's native country, attempting to overthrow its government, spying on its military, its diplomats, or its secret service for a hostile and foreign power. A person who commits treason is known in law as a traitor. This unfamiliar court from which you have received documents, orders, appointments, etc., is the highest court on the land, established by Act of Congress, October 18, 1972. The Environmental Court was established by an Act of Congress on October 18, 1972. It is established to be a separate court and a separate court system from the courts of the United States. It is a Supreme Court of the people, for the people, and by the people. As you have noted in the court documents, environmental crimes are crimes against humanity. The penalty for crimes against humanity is death by hanging. The Environmental Court has zero tolerance for insubordination. All right, so I'm going to end the reading here. I'll come back and pick it up. There's 3.5 pages left, or roughly 3.5 pages left. So I'll come back a little bit later and we'll make this presentation complete with regards to this piece. So, to be clear, every responsible corporate officer is convicted of 6 felonies from their own system, from their own bylaws, and we now have enforcement action with money. Money talks and BS walks, right? And you have the authority of the highest court, of the people, by the people, for the people. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, please come join the voice chat at the People's Bureau of Investigation Telegram channel and ask your questions and take action, because this is how we do it. And it's up to you, every one of you. And again, you can do this anonymously to who you're serving, but you want to give your information to the court, to the award center, so that you can receive your award, $2,000. All right? So own your authority, people. Stand up, be proud, serve the writ. It's being called the Moab, mother of all bombs. It is powerful. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I love you all. Peace. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And serve that writ. Hold these people to account. Let's make America wealthy. Let's make America healthy. Let's make America proud.